Jordi, I know it got interesting in those last few seconds, but overall, when you look at this game, just what did you like about just the way that you guys were able to set the tone early and then make your mark on the defensive end?
Yeah, I thought the way that we consistently competed in the first three quarters, and for the most part the fourth, winning every quarter. That's the main takeaway. The guys were locked in and they wanted to earn the break. They were not on the break already, and I think they did a great job. Like you said, it got interesting at the end, and that's my mistake, my fault. So just got to move on.
When you say earn the break, just what did you tell the guys about how they earned it, and I guess did they earn the break?
Yeah, they did. I mean, obviously, winning games in this league is very hard, so they did earn the break, but not just today competing, whatever the result is, with the preparation and with the last stretch that we have. So right now, everybody deserves this time to enjoy family, friends, so on and so forth, and then come back and be ready to work even harder and get better.
When you say earn the break, were there any sweeteners you added in there, like a day off from practice on Tuesday or anything like that?
No. We have to come back and work and get better. And I think that the days off are already good. They have to do their job. They have a plan because physically you cannot go without doing anything. So everybody's got a program to follow, and that's going to be very important, and that's how we want to build it moving forward.
How much scoreboard watching do you think, or standings watching, I guess I should say, goes on in there? Just in terms of the play-in looking a lot more attainable than it might have, whatever, a month ago, even 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think I answered it after the last game, and I think the most important thing here is going one game at a time, because that's the most important game is the next game, and it's not just a game, but the first possession, the first quarter, and that's the mentality that we want these guys to have. Because if you get ahead of yourself, is when you lose interest, and we're not there, and the standings say it. And right now, what we need to do is keep doing everything properly the right way. We know this league is very tough, a lot of good teams and good players, and we just got to be focused to fight the next one, which is, I believe, Cleveland after the break.
For a good chunk of the fourth, there was a lineup out there that I think had played either no minutes or very, very few minutes this season, with D'Lo, Trendon, a couple of the wings, and a big man. Just when you're constructing these lineups mid-game, with all the injuries this team's been through and trades and whatnot, does it feel like a blessing to be able to put any five guys out there and expect them to gel, or are you conscious of playing lineups that maybe have more experience? Or I guess what goes into that with a team with a lot of shuffling pieces?
Yeah, towards the end it was more having good primary ball handlers and free throw shooters if we had to. Right there with T-Watt and D'Lo at the same time, so I knew that the ball was safe. But I think these guys have done a good job, not a good job, but a great job with figuring things out. And players got to show you what they're capable of. Like sometimes you'll just make up your mind, and that's not fair. They did a great job, and they keep doing a good job just embracing situations and opportunities, and I think it's a good thing to see.
You guys had that 2-15 stretch. Obviously, some guys were injured, but things were starting to look dire, and you've turned it around dramatically, very quickly. Just, was there a message to the team that sparked that, or what do you see that's changed that has led to such a quick and dramatic turnaround?
No, I think it's been like the consistency of working every day, because if you think about that stretch, whether we had guys out or not, we also lost close games where we competed in pretty much, I would say a lot of games. I know there's some losses that you didn't won, like the Clippers won. But, I think the guys, I go back to Utah, and then we go to Portland and we respond, and then we lost to the Clippers, and then we go to the Lakers and we lost by 1 in the last possession. So the consistency in competing and working has been there. If we get caught into watching just the wins and losses, I know it's your guys' job, but not mine. And, looking at the big picture and not, staying the course of things and working and believing what we're doing, that's the most important thing. And this group of guys have done a great job.
And then Cam looked like he tweaked something quickly and went out into the tunnel and then came back. Do you get any word on what that was?
Yeah, I didn't get the report, but yeah, it looked like he jammed it or tweaked it, and then he went in, and then he came back and said, I'm good, so I put it back in.
Just how important was Russell's hot start, and what do you think allowed him to kind of break out of the recent shooting slump?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job, but it's not just his scoring, his ability to score. It's obvious, and then his playmaking and always under control, and talking to everybody on both ends of the floor. His leadership, so he's been great for the group. He always puts everybody in place, like I said, and having him on the court makes my life for sure easier.
And just as you go into the break, just how would you assess the first half and change of the season so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we have a plan in place and a vision on how we want to build this, and this is how we wanted to start. And regardless of the wins and losses in the standings, we have other wins and losses that for us as an organization and how we want to build it. And I think that you can always get better and be better, but I like the way we're competing, the way we're working every day, and like what we're projecting out there. But we all have to have higher standards and don't relax. We have to come back and keep working hard and get better in the last 28, 29 games that we have left, and then we have a very important summer. So like thinking like short term, mid-term, because our long-term plans are, are very exciting.
You mentioned before this 5 homestand started that you wanted your guys to take advantage of that, just being back here at Barclays Center. To win 4 of those 5, just how nice was it to be here, and how did you see them do that, especially just kind of being in front of the home crowd and kind of getting the most used to that chemistry and that consistency?
Yeah, it's always great to play in front of our fans. It just gives you that extra energy, and you guys know how tough it is in this league to travel and be in different time zones. And now we have the opportunity to be home for a while, sleep in your own bed, which I think it helps. And as you guys know, the unbalanced schedule is something you cannot control. And right now it came our way, and I think again these guys have done an amazing job.
You talked about not getting completely wrapped up in the wins and the losses. You were alluding to that a couple times. Essentially, paraphrasing, not being a little bit more process oriented than results oriented. Most younger people are obviously a lot more results oriented. How have you gone about, I guess, making sure that your players are paying attention more to the process than the results?
Yeah, I think it goes back to breaking it down and trying to explain what's most important for us. And without, like taking too long to explain, is the mentality of getting 1% better every day, right? Everybody thinks, I'm going to go out there and today I'm going to be much better. Well, you don't need to be 5 or 10% better. You just need to be 1% better. And then this way you're building something consistent. If you take longer steps, you can fall because you don't have balance, right? And these guys have done a really, really good job, and you do it in a positive way. You don't show up with bad attitude. Yeah, we all have bad days, but that's why we help each other. And for the most part, the environment has been great, and the guys created, and the coaches created, and medical and performance, and everybody around the club. And that's been enjoyable. That's something that nobody can see, but enjoying the process is important, and the ups and downs, and understanding how much losses, how much it hurts, because I know these guys, none of us want to lose a game, but when you go through it, the only way to respond is to show up next day and work again. So that's how we see it, and they've embraced it since the first day.
D'Angelo, that first quarter, you really got it going. Was that something you kind of had in mind before the game started, that you wanted to be assertive, or just kind of naturally got yourself going there?
Yeah, I think it just happened. Definitely wanted to try to lead by example as far as my focus. Obviously going into the All-Star break, lack of focus could easily be the excuse. So just wanted to lead by example with my focus, and shots fell early, and that's what it was.
Been I imagine somewhat of a whirlwind season for you, just getting traded, and whatnot. So do you have a some goals for the All-Star break, whether, mental, physical, whatever. I guess, what are you looking forward to with the time off?
Take advantage of it. Like you said, for me, it's been a transition coming here mid-season. My body kind of getting acclimated as I go. Few setbacks here and there. So for me, just take advantage of it, full throttle. Want to come back, with no setbacks, no minute restrictions or things like that. So it's just, I'm full in take advantage mode.
Last time you were here was obviously a team that didn't have expectations and made a surprise playoff run, and then you come in now and it's coincided with this kind of a dramatic turnaround. Is there any, deja vu for you in that sense?
I haven't even thought like that. Last time it just happened, it just kind of happened. So I think if it's going to happen, it will. We definitely have a chance. We definitely have a nice group. We definitely have all the coaches and everything to give it that. So we'll keep preparing like that's in the plans. But as far as getting ahead of myself and trying to do things out of the ordinary, that's not really kind of out of my control, I would say. So just kind of one game at a time, one win at a time.
You guys have been on a roll lately, but obviously, you guys had the game wrapped up tonight, and then, the last few possessions happened. Can you go through, was that just like a lack of focus that got Philly back in the game, or they were just making plays and, being physical?
Honestly, man, when I watch games like that, I think, those calls, that stop the bleeding, usually throughout the flow of the game, you may get to the free throw line to stop the run that the team is making, And I noticed all around the league, when teams are down, those calls kind of just go under the rug. Guy may step out of bounds and it may not stop the bleeding. You may need that call. Or I'm not saying the refs, but I'm saying those calls are dictating, those runs. Guy got fouled, may not call him one, may just let it go because it'll stop their momentum on that comeback, right? So I just see that every game. I watch a lot of games and I see the same, repeating thing, where those calls kind of dictate what can be stopped or not. So I mean that in the purest way. I just feel like that's what it is, So it's not necessarily us kind of folding when we definitely had a good bit amount of folding in that game, but it happens all around the league. So I would just say watch closer.
You mentioned wanting to set the tone tonight. Just, I guess, from a basketball standpoint, what was working so well for you? Why were the shots falling so well?
They haven't been falling, so that was just the cherry on the top for me. Seeing some shots go through, but the same shots I take, same shots I believe I can make. I just want to lead by example with my energy and focus, and then I guess that's why my shots aren't falling. I got to lock in a little more focus and a little more energy, so I'll build on that.
And just how much growth for this team have you seen since you got here in the trade?
Honestly, I think it's been good. Just I wasn't familiar with a lot of guys. I wasn't familiar with the coaching staff, and for them to welcome me with open arms and make it comfortable for me right away, and watch how much of a genius Jordi is. Watching him prepare for these games, not knowing who's going to play, not knowing who's going to start, or who can finish, who can't play, and minute restriction, etc. For him to still find a way to get scrape wins and keep everybody's energy and spirit high. I think the future's bright here.
Obviously, you've shown leadership abilities and capacity in the past, but just how much are you relishing this opportunity? It's not a recrimination on any other team, but just how much are you relishing the opportunity to have the ball put in your hands and allowing you to kind of let that part of you come forward here?
Definitely attacking it head on. I've been around the block, in my career. Early in my career, before I got traded from LA, I remember a specific individual, telling me that he wanted more leadership. That's why I wasn't there. So for me, I took that and came into this situation a few years ago with that chip on my shoulder, wanting to lead. But I definitely didn't know how to lead. And like I gave credit before, the vets kind of taught me how to lead. So now that I'm in this position full circle, everything's kind of full circle, wanting to give everything I can to this group, and I know no matter what age you are, you perform better with structure. So for me, just accepting the structure, accepting, you say the ball's in my hand, but the ball's in my hand a good amount with structure around it. It's not just me kind of out there making plays with my talent. There's a lot of structure and movement and pieces that make that go. So for me to be able to do that for a shorter bit of time throughout the flow of the game, and you see everybody pitching in as a collective group, I think that's an easier way to make a living than the other way. So I'm all for it.
D'Angelo, you've, again, kind of not an incrimination on anywhere else you've been, but what is the power of positive energy, especially when it's coming from kind of like every corner of the organization and everyone around the team?
Man, that's so key. It's so key. I mean, I think that's huge, just for the mental approach, mental sustainability, the workload that, the season's going to put on you throughout long nights, long travel, long everything, to find a way to stay positive can get you through a lot. So it's a great working environment for the group. I think I knew that before coming here. I knew once I came here before in the past, once I got here, I was like, something's different here. And it wasn't just in the water. It's with the group of people that are around here and making things go. So to be a part of it is something I'm truly blessed to be a part of. But like I said 1,000 times, I won't take it for granted. I appreciate it.